All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining us for Up and Moving Monday night edition. This is a strength training circuit workout tonight that we're going to be doing. My name is Isaac. I'm going to be leading the workout. And if you haven't joined me for a workout before, I'm a grad student in the kinesiology and integrative physiology department at Michigan Tech. And just a little bit about Up and Moving. We're offering virtual workouts that you can view live or recorded. If you're watching the recorded version, giving you a chance to engage in some physical activity without having to leave the comfort of your home. So with that said, tonight's workout, just to give you a little overview of what we're going to be doing. We're going to start off with a light warm-up for about 5 or 10 minutes. Get the body moving and get ready to then do some strength training movements. And what we're going to do is we're going to be taking a couple of different strength training exercises. We're going to be doing them back and forth until we get about 3 sets done for each exercise. So you'll be moving the whole time. We're going to work the upper body, then the lower body, and we'll switch. So you'll get muscles will get a little bit of a break in between sets. We're going to do 2 of those circuits. We'll do 4 total exercises. Again, we're going to shoot for 3 sets on each one. As far as repetition goal, if you've done a workout with me before, I like to just kind of use a very general range of trying to aim for 10 to 20 reps. So on each of the sets that we do with all the exercises, I want your goal to be to land on 10 to 20 reps. If you're in that zone, you're good to go. If you can't quite make it to 10 reps and the exercise is a little bit too challenging, go ahead and pick an easier variation where you can achieve at least 10 reps. If you're making 20 reps on every set and it's too easy for you, then you can pick a variation of the exercise that's a little more challenging. And so as we go, I will start each exercise by kind of showing you different variations to make it harder or easier depending on what you need. All right, I am done talking for now. Let's jump into our warm-up. And I think I forgot to get myself a water for tonight too, but go ahead and grab yourself a water if you're still getting prepared here. As far as equipment too, I should probably run us through this. I've always got a chair for stability. I have a backpack that I have a bag of rice in and some water bottles in case you need to add a little bit of weight to your body to make some of the exercises harder. I have either dumbbells or I have improvised dumbbells. So I just have a couple of plastic bags, and inside of these are cans of soup or any kind of food, water. Rice works, but you can use those as basically dumbbells. And then lastly, an exercise ball or even like a basketball or a soccer ball we'll use later on too. But that should be everything you need. And let's go ahead and we'll get into our warm up here and start moving. So we're going to do some chest or some knee hugs first. So you're going to grab that knee and give it a big hug in front of you. So you're pulling it to your chest. And we will go through several different movements here for our warm-up and spend about 15 to 30 seconds on the movement, and then we'll switch to a new one. The goal being just to get all of our different joints moving and the muscles warmed up so that they're ready to go through our strength training movements. And by the end here, your heart rate should be up. You should be breathing a little bit harder. Hopefully you don't get too exhausted during the warm-up. Good, let's go ahead and we're gonna do some butt kicks now. So you're gonna try to drive that heel up to your butt. Try to kick yourself in the rear. So we're contracting those hamstrings. We're getting a little bit of a stretch in the quads and the front of the leg. And if you can, try to keep that knee right underneath your hips. Perfect, nice job. Let's go ahead and we'll switch over into a Frankenstein kick. So we got those hands out in front like your Frankenstein. You're gonna try to kick your toes up to your fingertips. Just get that leg as high as you can, and what you want to do is keep your knee straight. So it will probably feel a little bit tight back there in your hamstrings. That's what we're shooting for, to get a light stretch on that muscle. And I'm just switching between legs here, trying to keep my hands out in front.
Hey, Isaac, when you get a second, can you just double check on your end that we have you spotlighted on the video? Thanks.
I've got it pinned.
Yeah, just go ahead and unpin, and then see if you have the 3 dots where it says like pin to spotlight or spotlight. I'll keep us going with the Frankenstein kicks here for the group.
Okay. How is that looking better now?
Yeah, I think we have it if you have us spotlighted. So
okay. Yeah, the only thing I see for spotlighting, it says cancel the spotlight or unpin video.
yeah, just try canceling your spotlight and then re-spotlighting it real quick.
Okay. Okay, let's see if that works. Okay, let's go ahead and switch movements. So you're going to take your feet, put them out a little bit wider outside your shoulders here, and then we're going to go to a side lunge. So this leg is going to stay straight, and then I'm bending onto that opposite leg. And just shifting from side to side here, you should feel a little stretch in that groin. And I'm just rocking back and forth here. And you can try to get a little bit lower as you go, as you start to loosen up here. We can work that, warm up that quad a little bit more on that side you're leaning towards. Perfect, nice work. All right, let's go into some arm circles. We'll start moving those shoulders a little more. So I'm going to start going forward here. And we can start to make these a little bit bigger as your shoulders loosen up. Try to get them real nice and big now. Big circles. Good. And let's go ahead and reverse. We'll start small the other way. We'll get them a little bit bigger now. Nice big circles. Think about sticking your chest out as those arms are coming back. Pinching those shoulder blades together. Get those shoulder blades moving. Perfect. And then we'll shake it off by crossing them in front like this. We can get a little side step in too. We'll keep everything moving here. Good, and that should leave those shoulders feeling nice and warmed up. Next, we'll go into just some body weight squats. So you can go as deep as you would like. If you want to just make them quarter squats, that's okay. You can use those arms to counterbalance you. We don't want to get our legs too fatigued before we actually get into the strength training movements. But if you can do a full squat like me, go ahead and do that. Think about your knees should be tracking in in line with your toes. So they don't want those knees coming in together and touching. They're kind of moving the same way that your toes are pointed. Good job. All right, we're going to go into some skater hops here. So we're going to be jumping from foot to foot. So I'm really trying to drive off of that leg and hop out to the side. Got my arms pumping. That's what it looks like from the side here. We'll start to get those glutes warmed up and the hips warmed up a little more. And as we're working here, see if you can get those hops a little bit farther. Cover a little more distance. Good, nice work. My heart rate's starting to pick up on me here. I think we're getting to the right level. Good, let's go into some jumping jacks. So we can either do this variation here for a little lower impact, lower intensity. If you want to, you can go into a standard jumping jack as well. Just kind of going at a moderate pace right now. Good, we'll speed it up a little bit. Try to push your speed with these jumping jacks here. Good job. We're almost through the warm-up. Hang in there with me. We'll take a water break soon here. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. And let's just finish off with some sprinting in place. So we got those arms pumping, trying to lift my feet off the floor. And let's go for 10 more seconds. We'll try to push your pace. Last 100 meters of the race here. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. All right, warm-up is completed. Go ahead and grab a drink. Take a minute here to catch your breath. And then we will jump into our first set of exercises. I'll show you all of the variations for each exercise first, and then we'll jump into our first working set. Okay. So first pair of exercises. We're going to be doing a step down or sort of like a pistol squat. So if you've been on a video with me before, you may have done these before. That's going to be our first exercise. And then our second exercise is going to be an upper body exercise. We're going to do front raises. Let's start with the step down. So I'm going to start with the easiest variation. Use a chair or a bar, something for a little bit of stability. And then what you're going to be doing is reaching your foot, your heel out in front of you and touching the floor. So you can think of it almost like you're coming down a step, like you're reaching down a step. So I'm just trying to reach that heel out in front. I've got my chair for some stability. So a few ways that we can make this a little bit harder. Now this exercise is really going to work the front of your leg, your quads, and a little bit in your glutes. So it looks like this. One way we can make it harder is try to reach your foot further out, right? So the further I try to reach that foot, the lower I go. So that's one way you can make it a little bit harder. Next way you can make it harder is get rid of the chair. So now we have to go without any stability. So now it's just me having to balance and use that quad, all right? And then if we need to make it really hard, If you're at home, now I think that you can make these hard enough, but if you have to do a real pistol squat, you can actually pick that foot up off the floor and then go into a squat, right? You can use the chair or go without the chair. So those are kind of our easy, moderate, and more advanced ways to do that. One other thing that you can do, I like to put something under my heel. So I have like a triangle shaped block of wood. You could put down a book or something, and I like to just put my heel on that so that my heel is elevated off the floor. And I find that this is a little bit more comfortable for me, and my ankle has a little bit more mobility here. So that can be helpful too. If you want to put something solid under just your heel so that your toes are still on the floor but your heel is up. So it's another thing you can change to make it a little smoother. So let's go into our first working set. So go ahead and pick one of those variations that you feel most comfortable with. And we're going to try for 10 to 20. So here we go. If you can make it all the way to 20, fantastic. If you get to 10 and the muscle is burning and your form's starting to get a little shaky, then you can call it there. So we're going to have to go a set on each leg. So I'm going to start with my left leg is going to be my working leg. I'm going to reach my right foot out in front. And I'm going to repeat until that muscle starts to get fatigued. So I've got my chair for stability. I'm reaching that heel out in front, making sure that that knee is kind of flexing over my toes. And I'm pretending like I'm just stepping down the stairs. Perfect. I'll give you a little bit more of a side view here too so you can see what this looks like directly from the side. And that should really start burning the quad. I'm starting to feel it. Perfect. Whew. We'll go ahead and switch sides. Same thing on this side. So now I'm going to be using my left leg, and I'm going to be kicking I'm going to be using my right leg and kicking my left heel out in front of me. Kicking that heel out. Again, this knee kind of comes over the direction of my toes. If you feel like this is putting a little bit too much tension on your knee, go ahead and lean forward. So you can see I took my torso from being upright to leaning it forward a little bit more. That will maybe take a little bit of that stress off of your knee if it kind of feels like it's too much. Maybe you've got some pain. You can always just bend over a little bit more, and we put a little bit more of that force on the hip. So we're going to 10 to 20 on this side as well. It's starting to burn for me. Woo, woo. Yep. It burns in the quads. You may feel it kind of in the side of your hip too. That's normal. That hip has to help stabilize during the exercise too. So we're going to our next exercise. It's going to be a front raise. So you can use either dumbbells if you happen to have them, or you can use, I always have a couple of shopping bags and I put some soup in there, water, anything to act as a weight. I'm going to use the dumbbells because the bags are noisy. And all you're going to be doing here, trying to stay in a good upright posture, and you're just going to be lifting those arms up out in front. It's looking just like this. So you can essentially do this however is most comfortable. If you want to do palms facing down, that's okay. If you want to point your thumbs up, that works too. And you can either raise directly out in front of you if you like to come on a little bit of an angle. That works too. So just kind of go with whatever feels most comfortable for you as you're raising your arm. And we're going to go for 10 to 20 here. And try not to rock too much with your upper body. We really want it to just be a nice isolated movement of lifting those arms. Nice and slow on the way up. Control on the way down. 1, 2, 3 up. 1, 2, 3 down. 1, 2, 3 up. 1, 2, 3 down. Good. My shoulders are starting to burn. Woo, okay. That's it for me there. So that one pretty easy. If you want to make it easier or more difficult, is really just grab a different weight, or if you're using bags, either put more soup or water in them or take some out. All right, let's grab a quick drink. I forgot my water. I was in a mad rush, and I forgot the most critical part of getting through this workout, my water. So I will live vicariously through your water consumption during these breaks today. And we're going to go right back into those step downs or pistol squats. So start with the leg that you started with on your first set last time. And now if you made it to 20 reps and you were like, man, that was pretty easy, couple things you can do. You can either go a little bit deeper and kick that heel further out in front of you, or you can try going without the chair and do it that way. You can also always throw a backpack on if you feel like you need more weight as well. But what I would recommend trying to increase your range of motion before you add more weight, because that's an easy way to make it a little bit more harder. All right, so let's go into our first set on, I'm using my left leg. So again, going for 10 to 20 here. So kicking that heel out. I forgot about my block of wood that I was going to use. So one thing too you want to focus on here is keeping those hips level. So think like you've got a level on your left and your right hip, and you don't want those hips to tilt on you. Keep them nice and level. Whew, yep, feeling that in the quad. I'm going to go ahead and flip sides. So I'm going to be using my right leg now, kicking my left heel out. Just in case if you're having some knee pain or you feel like it's a little bit too much loading on that knee for you, lean your torso forward a little bit. We can take some of that strain off of the knee. Perfect, good. Whew. All right, I finished my 2 sets. So we're gonna go back into those front raises. So I've got my weights. So again, if you did 20 reps on your last set and you were like, man, that was really easy, my shoulders weren't burning yet, go ahead and try something a little heavier. Throw another can of soup in the bag. Or if you need to make it lighter, maybe you didn't make it to 10 and it was a little too challenging, you can do something lighter. So I've got my chest up and out, and I'm gonna raise those arms up in front. I'm keeping good control of the weight. I like to get a little pause at the top too. Just hold on to it for a second while those hands are out in front of you. And try to keep that chest out. You can even maybe think about pinching those shoulder blades together just a little bit to keep your shoulders and your chest in the right posture. You can see I'm not rocking my upper body. I'm just raising and lowering my arms. And it does not take a lot of weight to feel these. I've got 10 pounds here. My shoulders are burning. Whew, all right. After we finish that set, let's go ahead and take another little water break here. We've got one more working set of these 2. Give everybody some time to get some water and maybe catch your breath a little bit. So this is our last set of these 2 exercises. So it's the last time we're going to be doing these step downs, last time doing front raises. So what we can do, we can try to push this one a little harder. Still want the form to look good. Everything should be nice, slow, under control. But we can try to push those muscles to a little bit further fatigue here on this one. All right. I forgot my block of wood that I like to use on these. So I'm going to do it on this last one. So again, I just use it. I put my heel up on the wood, and having my heel elevated gives me a little more range of motion in my ankle. And I like it. It feels good for me. So feel free to try it at home if you want to. All right, here we go. Last set, 10 to 20. Reach that heel out in front. Maybe on this last one, you want to try to get a little bit deeper. You can try to increase that range of motion, but keep it slow, keep it under control. If you're getting any pain in that knee, cut your range of motion back maybe a little bit, or again, lean that torso over. Good, I got one more in me, I think. Woo, burning. All right, I'm gonna flip sides. Last set for me on this leg. Scoot this back so I can get my whole body in the picture here. All right, I'm stepping with my left foot, trying to get that heel out there and touch the floor. And I'm going to push this one, but you can see I'm still nice and slow and under control. My hips are nice and level. I don't have my hips dropping on me. And that comes from a lot of use your abs. Think about keeping the core nice and tight. Everything's working as one unit up top here. Oh, yep, that burns. All right. Once you finish that set up, we can check that one off the list. I'm going to move my chair to the side. Go ahead and get a drink, take a little break again. And what we're going to do when we come back from the break, we're going to get into our next pair of exercises. So we're going to pick 2 more exercises. We're going to work through 3 sets of these as well. So we'll go with a couple of different muscle groups. So we work the quads. We worked a little bit of the hip back here. We've worked the shoulders. Oh, we have one more set of the front raises. I almost forgot. Somebody should have called me out on the video for that. Can't be skipping sets, Isaac. All right, chest out, shoulder blades back, lifting those arms up. I'm getting my arms so that they're at least parallel to the floor. That's what I'm shooting for. At least arms parallel to the floor. And again, this is our last set. Go a little heavier if you need to, or push this one a little harder. But keep them slow, keep them under control. Think about that upper body posture. You got that chest out. Shoulder blades are together. And my shoulders are burning. Good control on the way down. Don't let those weights just drop. Control them. Good, nice work. Okay, now we can take a break. So go ahead, get a drink of water. I'll catch my breath. Good thing I caught myself and didn't slack on a set of front raises. Okay. All right, so we worked the shoulders with the front raises. I think that's what I was getting at before I remembered we had another set. So now we're going to work on a little bit more of the hamstrings, so the back of the leg, and a little more of the glutes. And we're going to focus on some of the back muscles. So we're going to kind of flip, and now we kind of hit muscles in the front of the body. We're going to flip around, do muscles in the back. So first exercise, let's start with the lower body. Keep that trend. So if you have your exercise ball or your basketball, soccer ball, whatever kind of ball, get that out. I'm going to kind of clear a little space here on the floor. So you can have a seat. Probably want to get a yoga mat or carpet or be on carpet for this one. I'm going to tilt my camera down a little bit to get a better view. So I know people that have done workouts with me before have probably tried these. It's a hard exercise, but we're going to do some hamstring curls with the basketball. So what you're going to do, or exercise ball, whatever you have, and I'll show you if you don't have a ball, another way to do this. So what you're going to do is put your heels on the ball, or not necessarily your heels, probably the middle of your foot, sort of the arch of your foot on the ball. Then what you're going to do is come up into a bridge. So I push into the ball, I raise my hips up off the floor so I have about a straight line from my knee to my shoulder. My butt is not touching the floor. And then I'm going to slowly push that ball out in front as far as I can go, keeping my butt off the floor. And then what you can do is reset. So just roll the ball back. And then I guess you probably want to have about the balls of your feet on the basketball to start. And then I'm going to go back into that bridge, roll that ball out nice and slow so my legs are straight, and then put my butt down and reset. So that's the easiest version. Another way you can do this, if you need to make it even more easier, is put one foot on the floor and one foot on the ball, bridge, and then roll out, and then you can roll back. And we can do one leg at a time here. So I'm trying to keep my butt off the floor. And then if you're doing that variation, you just need to make sure you do a set with both legs. Right? So it's going to look just like this. So that's the easiest. Next easiest is 2 feet. Hardest version is 2 feet on the ball. You have to roll it out and you have to roll it back, keeping your butt off the floor. Right? So you're going to keep your butt off the floor the whole time. If you don't have a basketball, this is another way you can do this. You can do it just by walking your feet out. So we start the same way. You come into a bridge, and then you're just going to walk your heels out away from your body as far as you can, and then put your butt down and reset. Butt up off the floor, walk the heels out. So those are our variations. This one's really going to target your hamstrings. You probably feel it in the back of your legs, maybe in your glutes a little bit, sometimes in your arms if you're trying to stabilize your body, and you feel it in your triceps. So let's go into our first working set here. So I am going to go with, I will start with the easiest version. So I've got 1 foot on the floor, 1 foot on the ball. Here we go. We're still going to go for about 10 to 20 if we can make it. If you can't quite make 10 on this exercise, it's okay because it's harder. So we're going into a bridge, rolling that foot out and rolling it back. And I'm trying to keep my butt up off the floor. And again, on this easiest variation, I have one leg on the floor, one on the ball. My hips, though, are nice and level. So my hips are square with the ceiling right above me. Good, and I'm going to go ahead and switch sides. Same thing over here into the bridge, roll it out, roll it back. Got my hands on the sides here for some support. Ooh, good. That exercise is down, at least one set. We're going to come back to it. Next exercise is going to be, so this is like a, call it a face pull. And you'll see why in a second here. So I'm going to use dumbbells. If you're using improvised dumbbells at home, that's okay. You can even just grab a can of soup without them being in a bag, can work for these too. So grab onto your weight, and you can sit at the edge of your chair here. So I kind of I'm just at the edge of the chair, my feet are out in front of me. And what I'm going to be doing is kind of bringing these dumbbells together between my legs and then pulling them up to about my ear level. And I'm trying to make a W with my arms. So I'll show from the front. I'm here, I'm bent over. And it's almost like you're trying to pull these dumbbells up to your face, but out to the sides. They're usually called face pulls because you do them with a rope or a band. And in that case, you're pulling the band or the rope to your face. But here we're coming and bringing those dumbbells up to the sides. So again, I got a W going on with my arms. So my elbows are actually below my shoulders when I pull up, and it's looking like this. So it's like I'm pulling up to my ears or up to my face like this, but I'm bent over. If you want to make that a little bit harder, obviously you can use a heavier dumbbell, but you can also do these freestanding if you prefer not to sit. So you can get your dumbbells, you can get bent over and do the same thing just like this. And then here you get a little bit of stability working that back too, of having to kind of maintain that posture. So go ahead and pick either one of those variations, find a weight that works. And we're gonna go for 10 to 20 of these. All right, first set of face pulls, here we go. And I've got my torso at about, I don't know, 40 degrees, 45 degrees here. So I'm trying to bend over a little bit. When you get to the top with those dumbbells, really think about pushing your chest out and pulling the shoulder blades together. So it's like you're pulling the dumbbells and you're pushing your chest out and pulling the shoulder blades together into one nice smooth movement. And you should probably feel these in the back of the shoulder, maybe kind of just around the general shoulder area. Those are the muscles we're working. So I've got my first set down. Let's go ahead and grab a drink, take a quick break. And then when you are ready, we'll come right back to these hamstring curls again. So on my first set, I showed the easiest way with one foot on the ball. I'm going to show a little bit harder version this time. So this is kind of the medium level of difficulty here. All right. We're rested up. We can go into our second set of these. So I have both feet on the ball. Got about like the balls of my feet are on the ball. Coming into that bridge, and I'm going to slowly let the ball out, push it away, and then I put my butt down and I reset. So we're just working on the part of the movement where that ball is getting pushed away from us, really focusing on those hamstrings. Bridge and away. Good. So let's do our set here. So just get as many as you can with this exercise. I think if you can do a solid 8 reps at any variation, it's challenging. That's probably sufficient. But if you find it really difficult to do it this way, just go back to the one-legged method. Nothing wrong with that. It'll work your hamstrings just fine. Again, I'm trying to keep my butt up off the floor as I'm pushing that ball away. I think I got about maybe 2 more here. Feeling it. Ooh. Ooh. Nice work. Those are tough. That's a tough exercise. But it's a great way to hit those hamstrings and you don't have to load your spine up a whole bunch. So it's a good exercise. Let's go back to our face pulls, if I can find my dumbbells. All right, so adjust your weight if you have to. A little bit heavier, a little bit lighter. Whatever you need to do to land in an appropriate rep range here. I'm going to do these freestanding this time. So I start standing up, I lean over till my torso is at about 45, 30 degrees, somewhere in there. And then I'm pulling up to the sides of my head, to my ears. I'm pushing that chest out. And again, I'm making this W with my arms as I'm pulling up. This W. I guess it's kind of like you're going to scare somebody. Do the rawr. And push that chest out at the top and pull those shoulder blades together. Ooh, good. I've got to set down. Do another short break, grab a sip of water. And we have one more set of these. We are nearing the end. So hang in there. We've got one more set of each one of these exercises, and then we're going to go to a little cool down. I'll get to sit on the floor and rest after this. Okay. Last set. So again, just like the other exercises. So last time we're going to do them. So you can either try a harder variation. You can push this set a little bit harder than the last one. Maybe try for a couple extra reps. We'll see what we can do here. We don't have to do any more hamstring curls after this, so don't have to save it for anything. So I am going to go for the hardest variation on this one. And I am going to push the ball out, and I'm going to try to drag it back with my butt off the floor. So we'll see how this goes. You might be making fun of me at home. Okay. Last set of these. Into that bridge. Butt off the floor. Nice and slow on the way down. And if you got to stick with one of the easier variations, don't feel bad. This is challenging. I'm going to be paying for this one tomorrow. Whoops, slipped off the ball. That can happen sometimes with this one. Whew. Oh boy. Feel that in the hammies. All right. We're going to go to our last set of face pulls. If you have to grab a quick sip of water after that last stressful set of hamstring curls, go for it. I'm going to go ahead and jump right into these though to keep myself moving. So again, I'm going to do these freestanding. I got the same weight. I feel like this is pretty good for me. I've been getting about 12 to 15 reps, and it's pretty challenging by the end, so I'm going to stay here. I let those arms hang, pulling the dumbbells up to my ears, pushing my chest out, making a big W. Again, you're trying to scare people. Think of, Monsters, Inc., the big blue monster. I think his name's maybe Sully. He scares people like this. Rawr. That's the mental image you can have in your mind for doing these face pulls. Woo, all right. That burns. Okay. Once you finish that set up, you have done it. And we have effectively gone through 4 different strength training exercises and more or less worked the whole body. So we got our quads hammered pretty hard, hamstrings, shoulders, some muscles in the back and in the back of the shoulder. All right. So take a second. Let your heart rate come down a little bit, catch your breath, get a drink. Again, I'm drinking water with you all in spirit right now. I could probably run over, my sink's right there, but all right. So we're gonna go into just some light stretches here at the end to cool down. You can do these standing if you want to. I'm gonna have a seat on the floor because I like to sit after a workout. Feels good to have a seat. And then usually once the camera goes off, I lay here for another 5 minutes. All right, so I'm gonna get my feet spread, take my left hand, come down to my right foot. Get a little hamstring stretch here. Just to where it feels uncomfortable but not painful. And this is where you can kind of focus on big deep breaths out and in. Focus on calming things down. Good, let's go ahead, we'll hit the other side. So right hand's going down to my left foot now. Well, congratulations everyone for making it through another Monday strength circuit. Hopefully it wasn't too easy for you. I feel like I do a good job of making things difficult. Good. I'm going to go into one more stretch here. You can either do this standing or seated, but you can use your chair, and you're just going to put your hands up on the back of the chair, kind of lean forward on it, and get a good stretch through the back here and through the shoulders. It's almost like you're hanging at the bottom of a pull-up. Just breathe here. Whew. All right. Nice job, everyone. And thank you for joining me tonight. Hopefully you enjoyed the workout. Please let me know if you have any comments, suggestions, requests for future Monday strength circuits. I'm definitely willing to switch things up and would love to switch them up if there's something, muscle group or an exercise that somebody wants to do some more or focus on. But other than that, thank you very much, and everybody have a great night.